What up everyone, JD the Obsessed Hobbyist here. Back with the Mach 1 today. Gonna do a full service on it. It is recommended in the Ford manual for most of these cars like the GT350, GT500, Mach 1 to do a full fluid dump at about the 500 mile mark. So that means changing engine oil and the filter, dump trans fluid and the filter. Actually, there's no filter for that, never mind. Change the rear diff fluid. And in this case, because the car is 4 years old, I'm going to also flush the brake system in the car. Hopefully planning on doing a track day at some point. When you do track days, they do check your brake fluid for like moisture content and age. And if it's got too much moisture in it or something like that, they actually will not let you do your track day. So better safe than sorry on these Brembos. Want to make sure the brakes always work in these cars. So gonna flush the whole brake system. We got for engine oil, we're doing all Motorcraft stuff, Ford Motorcraft recommended oils for this car. We're gonna do the 5W50 track pack oil, which is what they use standard in a GT350. We're gonna use that in there in the engine with Ford Motorcraft filter. Using the Ford Motorcraft, they actually recommend regular automatic transmission fluid, ATF, for the Tremec gearbox. And then they have their 75-90 weight, I believe it is, for the rear diff, along with the anti-slip additive that goes in the rear diff. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today and get all this done. And then the best part is definitely going to be the Corsa X-Pipe. We're gonna get that installed today too. So we'll have some sound clips for you on that. And we do have a couple BMR suspension goodies. I do these pieces on all of my cars. My blue car, my 2017, had a lot of BMR stuff on it, including the springs and everything. We're not gonna do that on this car because pretty much it's got Magnerite on it and they're pretty good. So the plan for right now is to leave at least the ride height stock for the moment. But we do have front subframe cross brace. We have the rear subframe lockout kit, which is some adapters that go on the rear bushings, and then some brackets that go from the front of the rear bushings to the chassis. Those help lock the entire subframe out from shifting in the car. And then we also have the vertical links for the outside of the suspension here, which helps with the wheel hop when you're getting on it and you're trying to spin tires, or if you got wet pavement. It actually did it to me the other day. A little cold in the morning, and then she gets a little bit of chatter in the rear wheels. So nice stiffer bushings, bigger links, stronger links, all from BMR Suspension. So gonna stick with that, stick with what I know. Did the same thing on my GT350 and it was much better, especially with the tram lining and stuff with the wide tires and stuff like that. The subframe in the back is shifting around. We did fix the alignment the other day, which made the tram lining a whole lot better because it had a lot of toe in it and it was just really twitchy. So more of a street alignment now than a track alignment, and much more pleasant to drive. So this should just make it even better and lock the rear end down in this car. So yeah, we're gonna get to it here. Should take most of the day, I'm guessing, especially with my back. It's not been great lately, so we're just kind of nursing that a little bit. So we'll just take our time and yeah, get this project. Okay everyone, giving you an update here. So far we got the oil dropped and we got the trans fluid dropped. We're getting ready to pump in the ATF fluid. Looks like it's about 3.3 quarts. We'll get that done, and then we'll get the rear diff done, and then we'll get oil put back in this car and drop it back down, get oil put back in this car. Trying to get all that stuff done underneath and get it dropped before I put the car back down. So yeah, so that's where we're at. Take a look at all this fluid. Here's what we got here. We got the Ford Motorcraft 5W50 full synthetic motor oil. We got the Mercon LV automatic transmission fluid, 3.3 quarts of this, 10 quarts of this, solid 10 quarts. That, and then this is our 75 weight 85 premium synthetic gear lube, along with the additive friction modifier that you need to add first. And then we're gonna go with the MACH RBF 600 brake fluid to flush the entire system out. And of course our oil filter, which is the FL 500S pretty standard oil filter for all the Coyote engines, unless you have the 2018 and up Voodoo engine that has the cartridge filter. And I'm actually not sure what filter they use on the GT500. I would think it would be the same as a GT350. On the GT350, the early ones, they had this filter on it, and with the harmonics of the engine vibrating so much, they found that some of these filters actually vibrate off no matter how tight you put them on. It was actually recommended that you check the tightness of the filter on your track days, because it could loosen up and spin off. Adam LZ, if you've never seen his video, he actually had his girlfriend at the time driving the car, and it was the second time it had happened, and the filter actually spun itself off, sprayed oil on the header, and then lit the front of his GT350 on fire, which is now the Barra GT350 that he owns, which is still a pretty rad car, and it was a cool rebuild. But yeah, you gotta watch, make sure you spin them suckers on super tight. We have our pumps. So I don't know if you guys seen these, but these are great. They screw right to the top of the bottle, and then you can just pump the fluid into your diff or your transmission. I don't know where these were 30 years ago when I really needed them, but they're here now. So you can screw this onto the bottle, and then yeah, just pump your fluid in, and this little thing clips right into the hole with these little clips. And I got one for the big sizes and one for the smaller sizes. I didn't know which size bottles, I couldn't remember, so I got a big one too. So yeah. All right, everyone, quick update here. We got the oil change done. We got the trans service done. We started the car and let it run for about 1.5 to 2 minutes is what you're supposed to do, and let the trans fluid pump back through the cooler and everything, and then lift it back up and take the plug back out and just make sure it's dripping out the hole, so make sure you got enough in there, which we did, so didn't have to add any more. Took a solid 3 quarts and used my little pump tool to pump it in there. Worked like awesome. Oil filter, and that's a pain in the butt, and I wish Ford, you would just put it in a different spot. It's a remote mount oil filter, just make it go somewhere else. But yeah, everything's changed up there. We're doing that. The differential is almost done dripping right now, so we can put the lines back on for that. If you don't know, the whole back end of this car is basically GT350 or GT500, and has the rear differential cooler in the back, which is kind of cool. So there's an actual pump that's mounted up under this tray. I don't know if you can see it right here, but there's a cooler right here inside these vents. And then it has ducting here to suck air up through these vents and cool the rear differential. So that's kind of some cool technology, keeps the rear diff cool. So yeah, we'll change that, get a couple quarts in there, and on to the next thing. We have put the wheels back on. I decided not to flush the brakes today because my back's starting to get pretty tired, and we're supposed to go to an audio show tomorrow called Expona, and I don't want to overdo it and not be able to make the show. So decided to put the wheels back on. I can do the brakes at home. It's not a huge deal to just put it on jack stands and just flush the whole entire brake system. So we'll do that at home. Again, engine's done, trans is done, diff is now done. Wheels are back on, and I was gonna do the front brace, but my brother doesn't have a lot of 1/2-inch stuff here, and the front suspension bolts that I need to remove are torqued down like 150 foot-pounds, so I definitely need to get an impact in there. But he doesn't have like a 1/2-inch extension with swivels and stuff like that. So I got all that stuff at home, so when I go to do the brake flush, I will put the front brace on also. But right now, we're doing the Corsa Extreme Double Helix X-Pipe, and I already got the old resonator cut out, so let me show you that real quick. All right, here we go, everyone. This is what they call the suitcase resonator that's under the middle of this car. Obviously, it's already gotten hot. I have seen guys that have tracked these cars, and this turns completely purple, like bright freaking purple, which tells you that it's definitely restrictive and it's collecting most of the heat that's under the car. The other bad news about that being where it is that it's basically right under your drive shaft, like the tail shaft of your transmission. So I can only imagine that it's creating a bunch of heat there in the middle of your car, in the middle of the floor. I do know like the trans tunnel gets kind of warm. This could definitely be part of the problem, but yeah, and obviously sound. This does not sound good, okay? And creates a lot of drone in the car. So we're going from that to this. The Corsa Double Helix X-Pipe. I have literally run this on all 3 of my Mustangs. On my blue car, it got the full catback with this in it and the Corsa Extreme mufflers and sounded insane. But this is a beautiful piece. Corsa does a phenomenal job on the welds and everything. Stainless steel, looks really good. Here's what we got going on under the car right now. It's a pretty easy install. So I already put the adapter pipes on here. Ford leaves you these nice clamps that you can literally slip a catback on and off this car. It's literally like 4, I believe it's 4 mounts in the back. So you have a muffler mount back here. You have a mount right here, and then it literally slips right in. So putting a catback on this car does not take very long. So, quick instruction. They have, Corsa has you measure from the flange that's on the back side of your resonator, 22.5 inches on the driver's side, 23 inches on the passenger side. Literally zip these off. You have these adapters that go on here like this, because this is a 3-inch pipe and this is like 2.5, I think, or 2 3/4. So yeah, you got these adapters that go on here. Just have to unbolt these mounts up here, drop the exhaust down, pretty much just wedge it all back up in here and you're done. It should take me a whole 45 minutes to maybe half hour to do this. It's not really hard, and you increase the sound of your car and get rid of some of the drone in the car. And then also, obviously, you get rid of this hot spot right here. Obviously, they got a heat shield and everything here. But yeah, get rid of this hot spot in your car and a place that's kind of restrictive. Okay, here we go. So like I said, they got adapter slip pipes for here to go to the factory OEM Ford pipes. And then just a set of nice clamps, stainless clamps, nice stainless X-pipe, back to these adapters, and then 2 nice stainless clamps on both sides. Fit like a glove. I didn't even have to drop these because I could slide these far enough forward to get the pipe in here and then slide them back. Which on a regular Mustang that doesn't have this, a GT that doesn't have this cooling plate back here or diffuser, it is really hard to get to those bolts. I'm like, I can't even get up there. I hope I can slip these far enough forward, and sure enough I could. Because I was like, on my GT350, I don't remember taking those out. So yeah, worked great. Just slip those forward, slip them back, good to go. Use the jack here and another jack to align everything up underneath the car and get the mufflers really close. When we go to bleed the brakes at home, we'll double check all the freaking hardware here and make sure all this is good to go and nothing's can come loose, or you know, like with heat expansion and stuff, sometimes these things can come loose. So we'll just double check everything, be good to go. just serviced and ready to go for the season and not have to worry about it other than changing some oil. We'll probably do tires in June. Cup 2 still got a middle lap left on them, so we're gonna run those out at least for till probably June, I'm guessing. Hopefully we get some good weather and I can try it. Maybe it'll last a little bit longer if the weather turns here. But yeah. Pretty pumped with how she sounds. Drone, like I said, that resonator creates a little bit of bass in the interior, and that comes into the cab as you're driving, and it just is not pleasant to me. My wife didn't think it sounded too bad, but on long hauls to work and stuff, like it just gets to you after a little bit. So excited to hear this on the way home. Gonna drive all the way home tonight. So give you a review when I get home. Let me know what I think of the Corsa Double Helix X-Pipe. I haven't been disappointed so far, so I can't imagine I'm going to be disappointed at all. Definitely a lot more pop to it, you know, just in the shop here and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna get some cars moving. Those cars, gotta get these moved and get this thing off the rack, and we'll get headed home here.